the whiz and the telekinesis attack is still a hit, we can at least survive this way without a hit, and that way we left both witches in the ditch.
Alright, it's pretty relaxing here on the shores of the lands between, listening to my favorite tunes. Which makes me wonder whether we'll be doing another Elden Ring challenge today, or maybe something else. Let's go and check at the round table. Aw, not alright. The Shattering isn't playing tonight. So maybe we are taking a little break from Elden Ring. Hey, what's that? Ah, Bloody Band-Aid is back in town. And it says here that they'll be playing a theme-appropriate intro song for a Frenzy Attacks only run made by Oh, that's me. Son of a gun. Wait, there are Frenzy Attacks in Bloodborne? Huh. Oh, better go and check this out then. Okay then, the bloodletter in Bloodborne. One hell of a unique type of weapon, and one of the only options available to do pure blood damage with melee attacks. However, it also has a unique L2 attack that inflicts Frenzy, which, unfortunately, like Madness in Elden Ring, which is that game's version of Frenzy essentially, is only applicable to players and not enemies. So in PvE, whenever you use it, you yourself are the only one suffering the Frenzy buildup it causes. So what would it be like to go through the game using that specific attack exclusively? Meaning that every time you attack, you inflict Frenzy upon yourself. Well, that sounds pretty harsh, but hey, it might just be crazy enough to work. At the very least, it's a nerfed version of Frenzy that takes away only 50% of your health, rather than the usual 70% from other Frenzy sources. And for a single attack, it has at least potentially a high damage output, although that definitely requires a massive blood tinge investment. Now, because the bloodletter is a late game weapon, meaning New Game Plus is a requirement for this type of run, however, I decided to start the New Game Plus cycle as close to a fresh start as possible. So I only leveled to meet the stat requirements, and I got rid of everything I picked up in regular New Game, apart from the most standard non-cursed blood gems, and Numbing Mist to prevent a potential softlock against Vicar Amelia. So the rules are simple. I can only inflict damage using the L2 attack of the bloodletter, and the only exception to that is the minute physical damage you inflict when hitting Amelia with a Numbing Mist. Or, you know, accidentally falling on an enemy's head or something. I also did not want to use any runes before defeating the witches in this playthrough, even though I technically already had the rune tool. Although, to be fair, I got rid of all my runes, like all other items to begin with. So basically, in order to use something, I would first have to acquire it in this game cycle. And as a goal rather than a rule, I wanted to see how far I would be able to get in this playthrough without using any sedatives to counteract the frenzy buildup. So, would I be able to get through the entire playthrough without using any of those? Or, you know, at all? Without literally going insane? Well, let's find out. This is the Bloodborne Frenzy Attacks Only challenge. Well, I started the run facing two problems. One is that with the starting attire, literally every single attack immediately inflicts frenzy, because it has a very low frenzy resistance. And secondly, although the bloodletter has the potential to inflict some high damage numbers, I started off doing rather weak damage. Not even enough to kill the wolf at the beginning in one hit, and that enemy isn't even at full health. The bloodletter may have a capital S in blood tinge scaling, but at this low level we only have a lowercase bloodletter. For now at least. So when it comes to the first problem, my goal was to acquire the hunter's attire in the sewers, which at least would give me enough resistance to prevent the frenzy effect to proc from a single attack. But only barely. And when it comes to damage output, or leveling in general, to be clear, I didn't want to do any farming. First of all because I hate it, and secondly because then I might as well have started to run at a higher level to begin with. So although it would be perfectly alright to level up a bit before fighting the first boss, I did want to at least keep a sort of natural progression for acquiring blood echoes. However, leveling up does not impact frenzy resistance at all. So when it comes to the progression of increasing my frenzy resistance, it would have to come down to keeping my insight low and acquiring the attire pieces with the highest resistance. One of which is the Beak Mask of Eileen's set, which unfortunately requires me to do the unthinkable. I know that it's crazy, but remember that in this run, insanity is the name of the game. So yeah, there are obvious issues we'll be facing, especially early game. Tiny health bar, nuking plus damage and low blood tinge, which is the sole scaling stat when the bloodletter is in its transformed mode. Fortunately, at least in the first boss fight against Father Gascoigne, we can hide behind cover in order to stay away from his axe, which is good life advice in general to stay away from axes. They will only tear you down. And because our attack is an AoE, well, and because it's a From Software game, we can actually hit Gascoigne through the gravestones. Unfortunately, Gascoigne can hit us as well. Again, because it is a From Software game. And taking damage is extra painful, because I only have 20 blood vials, and after every second attack, I will lose 50% of my health bar. And on top of that, healing is percentage based in this game, meaning I need 2 blood vials to be at full health. You could save blood vials by healing only once, however then I would be at constant risk of instantly dying, because the most common damage I take, other than from frenzy, is from Gascoigne's gunshots, which I can survive together with a frenzy proc at full health, but only at full health. Meaning that constant healing would allow me to get through the fight rather safely, however then I would run out before I could finish the fight. But if I hadn't, I probably would have died 10 times before even getting halfway. However, when you run out, then not only do you need to avoid the boss, but avoid them long enough for the frenzy meter to go down, which is a very slow process. And then you still need to find a safe opportunity to attack, like after his Giga Jump. Well, I did put up some valiant efforts, but maybe this was a little too much insanity to handle. Well, as I said, I didn't want to go and farm to level up, so I just picked up the blood echoes I've accumulated so far, and bolt hunters marked out, which at least gave me some extra blood tinge, and because of the S scaling, that does provide a noticeable difference. But would it be enough? Now, the hitbox of the frenzy attack is essentially an AoE, meaning you can actually hit something above you. So it turned out that instead of using the gravestones, you can get Gascoigne stuck on the staircase instead. It does require both you and him to be in the exact right location, and not only can he still hit you there, but he can also break free, meaning you will have to lure him all the way around again in order to get him stuck again. But even like this, it still came down to the wire.
Just die! No, not me! Ah, fuck! I can't heal! Okay, stay in place. Yeah? It has to go down a little bit more. Stay in place, please. Please stay in place. Die! No! He jumped! Oh, I killed. Yeah. Oeh. Ah, zo. Habada vloep na. Noebeda. Bleh. That was not Dutch. That was just me losing my mind. Well, it's a frenzy run after all.
You would think that leveling vitality would be my priority, but because of the constant frenzy-based damage I inflict on myself, which is percentage-based anyway, I would be better off needing as few attacks as possible. Meaning I would first focus on blood tinge. And speaking of frenzy, the coat of the other hunter set has a little more frenzy resistance, whereas the hat has way less. Now true, it would be theme appropriate to dress like a Mad Hatter, but since I wasn't going to wet my beak drinking sedatives, I'd rather go crazy by looking and quacking like a duck. However, I wouldn't want to be a sitting one, so I frantically avoided the flurries of Jura's furiously fierce firing firearm in order to sneak up behind him, because he is the one holding the remaining pieces of attire with the highest frenzy resistance. Now, I don't actually know if it's possible to inflict frenzy upon NPCs, but at least I can say that I didn't inflict frenzy upon any NPCs. Now, I thought this would allow me to knock him off the roof, but at this rate I can basically just kill him. Oh, or both, even better. Ashen one, what is wrong? Okay, well, I don't know, but at least we have the maximum frenzy resistance, not counting any runes, of course. But hey, since we only just started to run, that's pretty good. Now, despite not having the same type of advantage from hiding behind obstacles, Rita Roastbeef Curtain, also known as the Bloodstarved Beast, was far easier to deal with than Father Gascoigne. In fact, she was the one working herself into a frenzy, trying to desperately inflict damage upon me. However, I only took damage when I decided to take damage. Well, sort of. Just stay calm, get behind her for safe attack opportunities, take things slowly when the poison cloud is around her, and lingering in the air in the third phase. And this time with blood vials to spare, I guess Rita just tuckered herself out. But speaking of blood vials, it would obviously be helpful to equip runes for extra blood vials. And of course, eventually for extra frenzy resistance, since we can no longer increase it any other way. Well, other than keeping our inside low. So now with access to Cathedral Ward, even though I technically already had it, I got the rune for 1 extra blood vial. However, that's not that significant, of course. What is very significant is the simp money you get from the doll set to increase my blood tinge. Quite extensively, in fact. However, there's yet another thing you can get from the doll. Given that the frenzy damage I take is exactly 50%, that means that any amount of healing after it procs would allow me to survive another proc. So I equipped the tear gem from the doll in a gun I held on my back, which only heals 2 HP per 3 seconds, so normally that's almost useless. However, that would already be enough to get me out of the danger zone, in case I would build up frenzy again before getting a chance to use a blood vial. I'm not actually sure if it did save me at any point in the run, but you got to admit, at least in principle, it was a pretty solid idea. Well, as I've said at the start, I would only allow myself to equip runes after defeating the witches, even though I technically already had the rune tool.
Now, failsafe is not... What? Seriously? So how much damage do I do? Fuck. Oh! Fuck. Teleported before... Shit. That's not a good thing. The witch speelt verstoppertje. The fuck? Oh, there. Oh, whoa, whoa! That's right, they can actually attack. Huh. How about that?
Yeah, dying against the witches. Probably the most insane part of the run. Fortunately, since I would want to keep my insight as close to 0 anyway, given that insight lowers your frenzy resistance, I might as well be at 0, meaning that 0 summons get summoned. Unfortunately, since the witches can resurrect each other, and you cannot see the second one's health bar, you need to make sure that you don't kill the first one before the second one is near death. Especially because they gain their telekinesis attack at that point. The problem is that normally you would recognize which witch is... you would differentiate between them based on the fact that the first one would be bloody from your attacks, but the frenzy attack from the bloodletter, doing blood damage ironically, doesn't make the witches bloody. And therefore I couldn't tell which witch... I couldn't differentiate between them. Nah, fuck it. I couldn't tell which witch is which witch, which is kind of a bitch.
Fuck, that was the wrong one. By the way, I framed through that attack or something? That was weird. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, now but I can't spam because you can only do it twice. Shit, delicious. Where is she? Quick! Kill her! Yeah! It worked out, it worked out. Got very lucky there, but it worked out.
Anyway, now we have the rune tool, again I guess. But before we can get the really helpful runes, we first need to get past Emilia. However, because this is New Game Plus, I already accumulated enough blood echoes to max out my blood tinge. Which by extension meant, I more or less maxed out the damage output of my bloodletter. Therefore, I might as well go and get rid of the Cleric Fury at this point, since I intended this to be an all bosses run. So with 50 blood tinge, I would probably annihilate this... Oh, that is less than I expected. Especially because blood damage is a great all-round type of damage, since almost nothing is explicitly resistant to it. Yeah, if only it did fire damage instead, but this was before the Flame of Frenzy was invented. And even then there are still some douche trying to extinguish your flame. So when it comes to Emilia, as I said before, I had a small exception to the rules, namely the 2 physical damage you do when hitting her with a numbing mist. Now to be honest, I don't always make that exception, but in this case you would simply out-heal my blood vial supply. Come to think of it, in that case I could have used numbing mist to test which witch was which witch. Well, whatever. Emilia is often a very easy fight, because you can stun lock her for the entire duration of the fight. But not in this run. Because although this attack is powerful for a single hit, it's not exactly the fastest attack in the game. So you don't have the benefit of using combos like you would normally with melee attacks. So that means having to deal with animalistic levels of insanity, where Amelia goes full rabies on your rear end.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the slowest attack in the game, but it's still slower than a normal melee attack. That's definitely the case. Ah, nice. I can't whistle, of course, but still, extra damage. Oh, I have to watch out. No! Ooh! That was kind of scary. Alright, that went a lot better than I expected. But well, I was not expecting to first try this fight, to be honest. And without sedatives, but very nice.
It was definitely noticeable that I had a bit more health to work with, but the frenzy would always inflict exactly 50%. So in a way, blood vials and frenzy resistance would be more vital than vitality. Fortunately, now with access to the Forbidden Woods, I had access to upgrades for both. Obviously the Communion Rune from the clinic for vials, but no, not the Grave Warden set for frenzy resistance. Yes, it has very high frenzy resistance, but as I said before, I already have the best attire for this run. However, we can increase our resistance massively by the rune found in the Viper Pit. Now I wasn't going to include challenge dungeons for the other versions, but this one alone provides 200 extra frenzy resistance, which is a massive increase. Meaning that as long as I keep my insight low, I could get 3 attacks in before inflicting frenzy. And we're definitely going to need that, because fighting the shadows, 3 bosses at the same time, with only this attack is insane enough as it is, so I decided to get some extra blood echoes by taking on Amygdala first. Therefore, I had to traverse the Nightmare Frontier, and oh, wait, no. Now, I thought I heard the doorbell because I'm expecting a package, and it would be a real dick move if they would deliver it in the middle of a boss fight or something. But that was of course the sound of the bell ringing women in this area, because when you're online, that can mean getting invaded like what happened during my no stamina run. Well, I did not get invaded, but I did die in the most From Software way possible.
Still, that's just story of my life, I suppose. Oh, what the? Really? Well, at least the shortcut is open. I'm going to take a piss.
God damn it, I really need a break from this madness. Tinkle, 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 tinkle. Flush. Sorry, I initially wanted to Google for piss and flushing sound effects, but then I realized how that would look in my search history. Then again, I could also just have not included this part in the video. Okay, so then we got to Amygdala, and my damage output was incredibly good. And on top of that, the Frenzy Rune made one hell of a difference. At least it would have, if I actually paid attention. But from falling down the elevator, you could probably already tell that I'm a bit too easily distracted. However, as I said, my damage output is extremely good. What the fuck? Now I suddenly did way less damage. Oh, and again I didn't pay attention because I got stuck, and I suppose we somehow switched damage output. Alright, 3rd time's a charm then. I'm not even sure why the damage fluctuates, but maybe it's because it sometimes hits both the head and an arm at the same time, given that the attack is an AoE after all. Now speaking of the arms, those are much safer to attack in the second phase of the fight, and in the third phase, when he rips them off, you can just bait jump attacks by getting up in the boss's crotch. Now to be fair, if someone would get up in my crotch with a spiked weapon like this, I would probably jump up as well. Fuck, I missed, but one more jump attack and then I dodged it and beat the boss. As I said, third time's the charm. Okay, move on. Unfortunately, next up are the shadows, and 3 bosses at the same time can turn out to be a massive obstacle in many challenge runs. And despite doing over 1000 damage in a single attack, that still would require a lot of attacks to take down 3 health bars. But there was a bigger issue. Normally I would drain the katana and the Nitro Shadow's life bars right up onto the edge where that transformation is triggered. And then use that opportunity to kill the katana one, so that I would only have 2 shadows at the same time to deal with in the second phase. However, the katana one has the most health, so there was no way I would be able to do that. Therefore I would have to go for the Tinnitus one, which is not exactly preferable, since that shadow is designed to keep distance from you, making it much easier to separate him and the candle shadow in the second phase. And yes, I know he's not actually holding a Tinnitus, it's just a metal mace. But heck, apparently the katana shadow is not wielding a katana either, but some type of curved sword. But speaking of curved, I got thrown a massive curved ball, not merely because now in the second phase I had to deal with 2 shadows that would constantly cling together, which at the very least did mean that I could hit them at the same time sometimes. But the biggest issue was that even if I would be left with the candle shadow in the end, I would not be able to use my usual approach, where you constantly make him sidestep with a single melee attack. Because the frenzy attack is simply too slow, and therefore that same trick wouldn't work. And that means having to deal with the insanity of frenzy buildup in my brain, but also with a snake in my pants, in the grass. And that's a lot of chaos to deal with. Fortunately, I had done quite a lot of damage to the candle shadow already at this point. However, would I have enough vials to survive this onslaught?
I missed!
Dude, the fuck?
Shit, where are the snakes? He only had like 1 HP left. Jesus fuck, dude. Oh. Crap-alicious. Okay, but we made it through. Hey, first try. Or is that not allowed to give an applause to myself?
No! Well, that was still pretty damn clutch, but instead of 3 enemies at the same time, now we would have to deal with a whole herd, pride, cackle, well, clusterfuck of spiders. Because I initially slowly killed them one by one, which takes ages because you need to wait for the frenzy meter to go down. And well, then yeah, I definitely wouldn't have the patience for that. However, that meant I would have to leave the small spiders alive. Which is initially not a problem, but then near the end, when Rom herself can attack as well at melee range, on top of all the meteor showers and AoE attacks, finding safe attack opportunities is like finding a piece of hay in a stack of needles.
Fuck, I just don't see any opportunity here. Okay. Whoa, I got lucky. Oh. Okay, one more attack. Only one more. Kill. Yes. Ooh. Okay. Whew. Well, that was the best strategy. It was not elegant, but required a lot of luck. But we made it work.
Alright, so next up was the One Reborn, and at the very least, the Bell Ladies were not much of a threat. And I can't imagine them becoming a threat later on for unrelated reasons. Now, I initially went for basically the same approach I would take in most other runs, where I keep the boss stun locked for the duration of the fight. By first attacking his weak point for the initial stun, and then by getting continuous knockdowns by breaking each limb in succession. And it seemed like the frenzy attack, although not the best suited for this approach, at least was capable of doing that. However, then something truly madness-inducing happened, because one of the limbs just didn't break for whatever reason. I mean, maybe there's some mechanic here that I'm not even aware of? After all, despite my experience with this game, keep in mind that I have practically no insight whatsoever, which might also explain why I had no backup plan, and therefore I had to kind of improvise.
Okay, for some reason I couldn't break that that arm. Ow. Well, that sucks. Whoa, fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck me. Fuck. Oh, I don't see anything. Camera. What the fuck, dude? Fucking fuck up the fucker. I don't hit him. That's a waste of blood vials. That's at least a hit, but... Maybe I should get to the other side to try to hit the entrails again. If I get the opportunity. Oh, whoa! That actually hit me! What the fuck? That's not what's supposed to happen. Fuck, no, not good! Oh, I stunned. Okay, good. Just go for the entrails. Yeah, one more hit, please. One more hit, one more hit, one more hit. Oh, and I barely survived. Woo. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a mess, but it worked out.
Now, at this point I was pretty much determined to complete the game without using any sedatives. But the DLC was still looming in the distance, so therefore I at least would go and get the Cosmic Eye Watcher badge, which allows you to purchase sedatives from the messengers. Actually, there is another reason why I didn't want to risk using any sort of potion to suppress my insanity. After all, what if that would create an evil alter ego, like in Jekyll and Hyde? Yeah, I can already picture what that would be like.
I am Push Select and I am evil.
Oh, wait, I forgot the mustache.
Yeah, I am so evil.
Well, then again, maybe instead of getting evil, it would actually get good. Anyway, after going through all the tentacle prawn, although that drains your insight, so in a way not even that bad in this playthrough. Although it is ironic that getting sucked leads to losing insight, when post-nut clarity means that... So another thing is that there was a very helpful rune waiting for me up ahead, which you get from defeating the Celestial Emissary. So the fight against all the Rogers took place, I suppose. Not exactly much to say about this one. But as I said, defeating them was still very relevant, because it gave me access to an even better communion rune. But of course, there is a far more interesting boss fight awaiting us, after jumping through the window. Oh, what the fuck? Apparently, if you jump through a window in the virtual world, you jump through a window in real life. Fuck me. I guess the only thing that would be worse if someone would ring the doorbell in the middle of a boss fight or something. But then again, what are the chances of that happening? Anyway, I was nearing the end of the first stream, but I decided to give Brightness a quick try, and initially it went very well. I approached it in the same way I would with a standard melee weapon, going for headshots pretty much exclusively, since that is her weak point, and therefore I did really good damage against her. Although I didn't realize something, given that this attack is essentially an AoE, although I should have realized it when I got a tentacle stagger, even though I was trying to aim for the head. And also, how the hell did that next attack miss her head? That doesn't seem right. But speaking of staggering and hitting her head, the frenzy attack apparently is not that great at breaking her head. Which turned out to be a good thing, because I got the stagger very late, causing her to go through her transition animation to her third phase twice. And it's definitely a good thing to have her health this low when she reaches the third phase, and not merely because she becomes incredibly difficult moveset-wise, but also because she gains an aura that automatically builds up frenzy, which is obviously extra painful in this run in particular. However, then right before the end I got dive bombed to death. Yeah, that attack is so difficult to avoid. Almost first try, but no cigar, or something, I don't know, I don't smoke or understand expressions all that well. And what's worse is that next attempt I suddenly played like shit, And I also tried out an alternative way of avoiding a charge by outrunning it, with mixed results, I would say. But all in all, I guess I was just getting tired. So I ended the stream there and decided to continue first with Mikolas in the next stream. Yeah, it definitely would have been handy if my package would get delivered right now. But I guess we'll just have to continue. So, next stream I ran past the frenziest source of frenzy, namely the Brain of Menses. And I also noticed that the Bell Ladies were rigging here as well. Now, I didn't get invaded, but who knows if the ringing women would have an even more sneaky way of getting me killed. Because perhaps they are the true brains of Menses. Nah, that sounds doubtful. But no matter what part of Menses they may be, Mikolas is the cock-caged dick and balls of Menses. Because fuck me can he annoy the ever-living fuck out of me. I wanted to make sure to get them away from the respawning marionette skellies, but he doesn't take direction very well. And when you get him into that little hallway, it's still vital for him to attack first to prevent trading hits. But when he just refuses to act, I become impatient and then he puts the torture in CBT, I suppose. However, then I finally made it through the first phase. Now it would be even a dicker move than Mickey is to distract me now in a highly inconvenient way.
Huh? Oh fuck, there's someone at the door. Well, that sucks.
Ah, god damn it, and this game has no pause button. If it's a Jehovah's Witness, he will regret that his religion doesn't allow blood transfer. Oh, of course! It's the table I ordered. Yeah, not exactly the most convenient time, but okay, there you go. It's not surprising that I didn't expect the post guy, because after all, he had already been here before the run to deliver my bloodletter. Why am I back at the lantern? Oh, that sneaky bitch. Well, at least I hope that the table I ordered doesn't disappoint and that it has a nice build quality and whatnot. Wobble, 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 wobble. Well, my character might not be allowed to drink any sedatives, but fortunately I have my own version that I'm very much required to drink at this point. You know, doctor's orders. And of course I cannot cheese Captain Cockcage from the balcony with this attack. But at least I can immediately follow him into... Son of a bitch! Well, at least you can manage to stay close to him to avoid getting called beyond into Skyrim. Or Oblivion, I don't know what the expression is. But still, that does leave you wide open for Tentacle Prawn and getting fisted. But in return, he can take splash damage to the face. So, that's something at least. Now, after dropping the Brain of Menses a few IQ points lower, very relatable at this point, I would say. But the point is that I acquired a duplicate of the blood damage boosting gem that I had from the previous game cycle, meaning that that would be my final damage boost. Which I probably would going to need when facing the DLC bosses, although what arguably could be considered a final boss, Murger's Wet Nurse, went down very easily. Yet this boss's threat level is reduced significantly when you know how to avoid the clone phase, since you can dodge that attack because it's actually a projectile that initiates that phase for some reason. And just like how you would get behind her for melee attacks in a normal run, just use that same opportunity to get a frenzy attack in, and there you go. In principle, we could end the game, but we're not going to do that. However, before going into the DLC, I first wanted to clean up the main game bosses, and therefore I went back to Abritus. Now, not only did things go a lot better after taking a break since the previous stream, but I discovered something near the end of the fight that made me realize that I approached this fight in completely the wrong way, because I was constantly waiting for head slam attacks. However, with the frenzy attack of the bloodletter, which is an AoE, you can hit her head by simply slamming the ground underneath her head. Basically the same reason why I could hit Father Gascoigne when he was stuck on the staircase. So that meant if I would have simply stuck close to her, I would probably have had a much easier time getting both tentacle and head staggers just by attacking in front of her, rather than waiting for opportunities to hit her head directly. Now, when it comes to Paul, he's skilled for mid-game, so usually you can easily keep him on the ground and defeat him in no time. Well, I guess I should have drank a little more of my own version of a sedative. So I mean me, not my character. Because when things didn't go as planned, I went from press continue to press panic button.
Okay, this is not working as I expected it to work. I expected that you would just be able to knock him down like with... Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, but you can't keep him. Come on. That does work. I'm stuck. What the fuck? I literally am stuck. Okay, I'm messing up pretty bad here. Okay, now I'm just fucking up. Okay. I love the camera in this fight, by the way. Alright, it's a good thing that he doesn't have that much health, because that was a bit messy. Wait, really? Now that is some fuck.
Well, despite having really high resistances, Sinterklaas still took almost 1100 damage per hit. Although, he has also a ton of health on Nukem Plus. And I couldn't use my usual approach to phase 1, where I get him stuck in a loop. So his sudden skull explosions kind of took me off guard. So much in fact that I didn't pay attention to my frenzy meter. Although in the end it definitely wasn't the first phase that was the issue. After all, he does leave himself open a lot, and he is nowhere near as aggressive yet. But then in the second phase, first of all I obviously couldn't do a backstab attack during his transition, but since I also couldn't use a gun, I had no easy way of destroying his sword. So when he opens up the gates of Babylon on your ass, it's quite likely that you will fly off the handle when you can't handle the flying swords.
Oh, fuck. No, not good. Okay, this sucks. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks. And I'm stuck, which sucks even more. Okay, this is not good. This is not good at all. Suckalicious. And they just keep going. That's the worst thing. Oh, fuck! I couldn't do the attack animation because one of the swords hit me. Fuck, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good at all. And they just keep going, those fucking swords. Okay, now I'm just panicking. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to be able to just trade hits like this. Fuck. He can react faster than I can do the attack. Oh, whoa, what the fuck happened there? They really shouldn't have placed this boss on a roof like this. Oh, fuck. Fuck, I'm going to get frenzied now. Oh, no. Huh? Oh. Okay, well, I'm not complaining. Oh, fuck. I couldn't see him. Oh, from software. Is that really necessary? Fuck, not good, not good. One more hit? No, no, I can't see anything. Fuck, not good, no, not good. I need to heal. I'm getting staggered like crazy because of the fucking swords. No. What a mess. Quick, kill him. No, it didn't hit. It didn't hit. Oh, Jesus, motherfucker. Well, that was that was a complete mess. That was a complete mess. But I did make it through. I guess my health bar really saved it because it was not strategy or anything. I was just panicking like crazy.
Alright then, with the main game bosses down, it is time to make our way to Ludwig. At least if the Bloodlickers would let me and my bloodletter through the blood. Yeah, well, at least getting to Ludwig is nowhere near as difficult as fighting him. Because basically in any playthrough, Ludwig can be a very tough fight. But surprisingly, our damage output is still around 1000. And a lot more when it's counter damage or instability damage or whatever you want to call it. After all, as I said before, blood damage is the best all-round damage type, because almost no boss is specifically resistant to it. And that's why the numbers are so steady. Now, of course, because of Ludwig's giant health pool, which applies to all DLC bosses, especially on New Game Plus, even with this damage output, it will still take a lot of hits. And in turn, it takes, well, very little for him to drain my health bar. Now, because I'm constantly inflicting frenzy damage upon myself, against a hyper-aggressive boss like Ludwig, it's essential that you don't just heal at random moments, but use attack opportunities in order to safely heal rather than get another attack in. Now, one benefit that Ludwig has is not merely that he staggers quite a lot, but that he is even designed to stagger at specific moments in his second phase. So even though the frenzy attack is relatively slow, you can still get multiple attacks in at those specific moments. Regardless, especially the second phase takes a lot longer using this attack than with standard melee attacks.
And that was Ludwig. It was a lot easier than I expected. You see, I am doing really good damage. That's definitely what helps. Alright then. This is probably oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah. Now I'm the not living failure. Where's the damage? It's basically always around 1000 now, so that's at least good. But this is probably going to be a lengthy fight like this. Maybe I should focus on the casters. In general, there. Oh, ooh, it's too slow to avoid that. Whoa, that could be a bit of an issue. Okay, group them for multi-hits. Well, yeah, in principle, but that's not really safe. Oh, hey, that was a nice multi-hit. That's pretty helpful when the melee ones put themselves into the hitbox. Let's get another multi-hit quickly. Oh, far. Ugh! I was too far to the right. No, no. Ooh. Ah, fuck. Okay, now I'm panicking. Quick. Oh, there we go again. Okay, final hit. Nice. Okay. There we go. By the way, they are alive, as you can see. Yeah, of course, flowers are alive, but I mean alive in the sense that they are moving like actual sentient beings. I mean, this is not waving in the wind, I think. This looks like actual movement. I mean, if you look at the flower petals, the wind is coming from the right. And that's not how the sunflowers are moving. So it's literally as if they are like sentient beings.
Okay, for Maria, I definitely had to take the beak mask off, because here's a little known cheese tactic. If you wear it during the cutscene, she will automatically kill herself when she pulls you towards her, piercing the beak right through her face. Well, would have been an interesting mechanic at least, I suppose. Okay, so Maria is an incredibly fast and agile boss. So not only do you need to carefully choose your attack opportunities, but that applies to healing as well, because she has several ways of punishing you for healing, including using a gun. On top of that, this is one of the few bosses who is resistant to blood damage, meaning I did significantly less damage to her per attack. Now, one benefit though of the frenzy attack is that it makes her flinch, cancelling her attack animation. And on top of that, because it's an AoE, it lingers a bit and she can launch herself right into it. However, the first phase already takes a long time this way, and during her second and third phases, attack opportunities become much more scarce. And whereas you could normally do backstabs for massive damage, that was not a possibility this time, meaning less opportunities, doing less damage per attack, meaning a very long fight of attrition. Regardless, when I made it to the third phase, I still had 12 blood vials left, which sounds like more than enough, but would it be?
And now she has spores. Uh-oh, not You don't want to be in the corner now. Fuck. Okay, now I'm fucking up. I'm fucking up. Oh, fuck. Ah. Follow up. Damn it, I'm getting low on blood vials like this. Ooh. Well, this time I took the follow-up into account at least. Ah, she did still get staggered. Oh fuck, the fire. Crapalicious. Shit. I'm choking a little bit now. Oh fuck. Whoa, that can cancel that attack. Nice. That was kind of a guess. Shit. Oh fuck, I'm frenzied. No. No. Ooh. Ooh. Fuckalicious. That was scary. Whew. That was pretty intense down near the end. Jesus fuck, dude. Wow, I almost choked, but it worked out.
Alright then, Orphan. Well, at least he doesn't have Maria's blood defenses. But he is even more aggressive than Maria is. As his newborn mind is even more unstable than my stupid new table. And possibly even more likely to get me killed. But I ran into another issue in this fight. Namely the recovery time of the frenzy attack. I guess it's not that slow, but it takes a while before you can dodge after using it. So in principle, I could use my standard melee approach where I bait backstabs, but then use a frenzy attack instead of a backstab. However, after an actual backstab, you have enough time to create distance again. But with the frenzy attack, it doesn't even always make Orphan flinch. And depending on which attack he does next, he might be able to hit you before you can even move again. So there's RNG involved. And in the second phase, those backstab opportunities become even rarer and more RNG dependent. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't even have gone for those exclusively to begin with. I guess I'm just too used to fighting him on BL4, where you pretty much have to approach the fight that way. Therefore, I at least had to make some adaptations to this strategy. For example, when Orphan does the sideways attack, that goes all the way to the right, indicating that he's going to jump towards you next, I had to make sure to position myself to his side before attacking, so that his follow-up attack wouldn't be able to hit me. Otherwise, he would immediately punish me after I would punish him. And he can do a lot more damage than I can do. Now, because you have to be so patient, you do save some blood vials, because frenzy doesn't activate as much. So running out of blood vials was less of a problem. However, that doesn't mean that frenzy buildup was no problem at all. In fact, it very much was.
Fuck, not good. Not good because of frenzy! Shit! Fuck. Got him. There we go. Little bit of patience. Ah. Yeah, I had to adapt to some things, like I said, on being on his right side after he does that jump. Given that he can do that weird follow by he turns around like that. Normally you don't have to worry about that when you do a backstab.
However, even with Orphan down, the hardest DLC boss, for me at least, is still alive. And it didn't take long before I wasn't. Especially because for some reason I was suddenly mistiming absolutely everything. So that's always helpful. Well, what's even less helpful is that Lawrence has about 34,000 HP on Nukem Plus. So having to do a lot of attacks, meaning a lot of frenzy damage, which in turn means that I have a lot less elbow room when it comes to taking fire damage, since they decided to give fire AoEs to nearly every attack of this boss. And therefore I had to be extra careful to preserve my blood vials. Now fortunately he does stagger a lot, or even voluntarily falls down in the second phase. But that's about the only advantage you have in this fight. Regardless, I still managed to get to his third phase with 17 blood vials left. However, that doesn't mean much, because in this state, one mistake can get you stuck, and then your health bar doesn't mean anything anymore anyway. Against Lawrence, especially in this state, you can be only one mistake away from death.
Oh, the fuck! Okay, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. Whoa, I'm not fucked. That was luck. Oh fuck, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. Okay. Wow, I got really lucky, like twice, at least twice I got ridiculously lucky, where I was almost about to die. And Jesus was definitely with me there. Submit. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. No, 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 that's not what I wanted. Oh, does that work? Not submit your life, I wanted to do the other one, fuck. Ooh. It's a good... apparently you can cancel it, or maybe it will just continue playing when I... to continue. Shit, when I press continue. Refuse. This is the one. Okay.
Yeah, close call there. I guess my brain was starting to rot away at this point. But we are in the final stretch. Let's hope we can make it before I end up in a sanitarium. Or maybe I already am, and I'm too insane to even realize it. Which makes you wonder, if you truly are insane, do you even know it? Well, normally Gerben feels like a step down in difficulty after the DLC bosses, but on New Game Plus he has over 6000 additional HP. On top of that, I usually approach this fight by parrying him, even on BL4 where you wouldn't use any visceral attacks, but simply to create attack opportunities. However, that wouldn't be an option this time. So I had to rely solely on dodging and on making him flinch from my attacks, given that he doesn't have any poise. Yet. After all, that very much changes when he goes into his second form and gains that aura around him. Because then he no longer flinches from your attacks, making your attack opportunities much, much more risky.
Oh fuck, now my frenzy is so high and now he has poise. I have to be more careful when attacking him when my frenzy meter is this high. Come on, frenzy meter, go down please. Well, fortunately he just walks to you menacingly. Oh fuck! Uh-oh, no, don't visceral me, don't visceral me. Shit. Uh-oh. No. Damn it, my frenzy meter is so fucking high. I have to... okay, I have to make use of this. Okay, worked out. That's better. Okay, nice. Ooh, fuck. Didn't see that coming. Fuck, now my frenzy meter is way too high. Only need 2 more hits, I think. So I don't want to fuck up now near the end. Just let him do his pimp walk. I got him. Alright then.
Well, in most other runs you would make Flora hit the floor in no time, making her kind of a disappointing final boss. But that may also be one of the reasons why I just suck at this fight. Not enough opportunities to learn, I guess. But with the frenzy build-up there was another issue, because this boss can block your healing ability and also drain all of your life down to 1 HP. So if you combine that with the automatic 50% damage from your own attacks, and then suddenly the final boss of the game does in fact feel like the final boss of the game.
Is my healing blocked now? Wait, let me just heal. Oh, yeah, see, I can't heal. Fuck. And I can't attack because then I will frenzy myself. Shit. This is not good. How do you see when you can heal again? Okay, now I can heal again. Okay, now I can risk. Hey, you know, let's heal first so that frenzy definitely cannot kill me. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's just end it.
And there we are, Bloodborne using only frenzy attacks, without using any sedatives other than drinking beer. As if this game wasn't madness-inducing enough as it is. But at least I hope that this playthrough elevated your insight. And if your mind could handle it, then consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want early access, then you can support me on Patreon. And of course, come and hang out with all the other crazy folks over at my Discord server. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.